The Boyle County Planning and Zoning Special Called Meeting on August 30th on here. The invocation, please, would you? Amen. Thank you for coming. Appreciate that. We'll get through these items and topics. First one is the approval of the previous minutes on here. Should we take a look at it?
Sam,
Yes.
before you begin, we have to take a vote to vote you in as interim
that's-
chair.
I thought you automatically did one. I
So
apologize.
Terry is interim vice chair. He has asked if Sam would be willing to step in to chair the meeting. So if you all would be willing to take a vote on that, if you're okay with it.
So I guess I'll nominate Sam to be our temporary chair for today.
A second.
All in favor? So be it. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at the meeting minutes that we have from the last meeting. Any comments, changes, updates required?
I move to approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second to approve. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Was that Commissioner Griffin with the second?
Yes, I'm
Thank
sorry, I
you.
should have said that, yes. Yeah, let's take a look at the financial report, Terry.
Yeah, just a couple of comments there. If you look at the very first page, the balance sheet, and you go down to the fourth line from the bottom that says beginning cash balance, July 1st. I just want to point out that you'll see that our actual beginning cash balance on July 1st was about $119,000, almost $120,000. That compares to when Michaela and I and you approved our fiscal year 24 budget. We had projected that we were going to end the year with about $92,000. So we actually ended the year with about $27,000 more than what we had budgeted. Now, we haven't had the formal audit yet to audit these numbers, but usually it's pretty close. And so we had a real strong June, as I remember. And so we actually are starting the year with almost $30,000 more than we originally budgeted. Oh, the second comment is if you go to the statement of account activities where it looks at the income, if you ever wondered what it would be like if you had a business and had no income for a month, this is what it looks like. The only income we had in the month of July was interest income of $14.54.
Wow.
That's what it looks like if you had a business and nobody came. If you look at expenses, there's really nothing to comment about. They're all basically within budget and they're all expected expenses, so there's really nothing to talk about in expenses. So that's my comments.
Any other comments by the committee? Need to have a motion to accept.
I'll move to accept.
Mr. Commissioner Ouellette accepts. And a second. All in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. All right. Construction sureties.
Yes. The first item on the agenda is Kelly and Ann Griffith, DBA Hidden Springs Properties, 0 East Eden Avenue. They've asked for the release of letter of credit in amount of $30,000 for the asphalt. This was approved by Junction City Commission about 2 weeks ago. So I think at this point, we are able to release the letter of credit if you all want to approve it.
Any comments, questions by the group? Need a motion? Sally, motion to release. I need a second. Mr. Commissioner Griffin, second. All in favor of releasing? Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to keep Lisa's minutes here as I'm going through
That's
this.
fine. I tend to move along faster, so
Yeah,
that's
that's
fine.
okay. Peebler Moving and Storage, Southtown Street Extension. I don't know if y'all recall this, but back in March, we decided to renew their letter of credit for 6 months. It is for that Southtown Street extension, so that frontage street out by the bypass. They are under construction for their third and final building on that site. When we were doing this back in March, I actually did not realize that they had further construction to do. I was not here when this project was originally going through. They've asked basically to complete the construction on their site. They anticipate it to be done by spring, and then they want to lay the asphalt down at that time. That way they don't have other trucks coming in and out before they lay the asphalt. I'm comfortable with extending it and giving them that time so that they can lay the asphalt sometime in the spring or early summer. I think it's appropriate to renew the letter of credit for a year. I've spoken with the city engineer. He's comfortable with it as well. I think it generally is the preference to be able to extend the letter of credit and have them build the street rather than us having to cash it and having to do it ourselves. So, but it's to your discretion. But
Yeah, on that section of road, you can get to the businesses on either side from different directions, which is what people have done in the past.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There, I mean, before they came in, there was no
There wasn't
street
anything,
gravel connection of any kind there. Yeah.
Any other comments, discussion? I'll need a motion.
I'll move to extend the surety for another year.
Is that what they're asking for?
That's what they're asking for.
I asked them to write me a letter to detail what their extension was that they were asking for. I did not receive it. So I'm just going to say we should do a year. Based on the timeline that they were discussing, it seems like they think they're going to be done with their construction of the buildings around March, April is their goal. But you know how construction goes, so I'd prefer not to have to come back and just extend it for 1 or 2 months. So I think our ordinance allows us to do a year, so I think it's appropriate just to do the year. And hopefully we'll release it before next September.
Okay, so we have a motion to extend it for a year. Commissioner Nolet, I need a second. That's Harry. Terry has a second on here. All in favor of the motion? Unanimous? All right, you ready to move on to the next one?
Yes.
Subdivisions approvals, we have 3 of them that we'll be looking at today.
All right. The first is Kaiser Land and Cattle Company LLC, I believe. Oh, sorry, I've got these in the wrong order here.
Yeah, which would, Center College is on our list.
All right. Center College of Kentucky has applied for the consolidation of 0.73 acres in 3 tracts known as 255 and 244 Beatty Avenue, Danville, creating Tract 3. The property is zoned IBD, Industrial Business District. So this is a pretty straightforward plat. It's currently in 3 lots. They're just looking to consolidate it to create 1 lot rather than the 3, so it'd create Tract 3. We really didn't have any comments on it. We asked for a minor change in the purpose statement. Lisa had noted that there was previously a structure out there, but it's since been destroyed, so that comment is no longer relevant. So not much to this one. I think it received preliminary approval at TRS, and it's ready for final.
You want to do these separately? Is that what we're?
I
voting on?
think we can do
Just
them all
simpler-
together.
Okay.
That should be fine
So,
for these.
Michaela, on this one, a question.
Sure.
The note here about structure
Mm-hmm.
that says it was already demolished, when I looked on Google Earth, it was still there, but I don't know, is it really gone?
It is.
Okay.
It is. Yep. It's showing on Google Earth, which is why I think Lisa noted it. And
Yeah.
then through discussions and going out and
Okay.
looking at it, it's been
And
demolished.
the one that's the existing structure, that's in a separate plot and ownership above at the,
Yes, that's on a different track.
on a different truck?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on that one? Number 2, Kaiser Land and Cattle Company LLC has applied for the subdivision of a 12.003 acre parcel of land known as 3036 Stanford Road, Boyle County. The property is zoned agricultural. Let me flip to this one, sir. This is also a fairly straightforward plat. They are just looking to create one 12-acre tract out on a farm. There's an existing house out there, so they're not required to get utility signatures. We did just ask that they put the setback information on the plat, and remove utility signatures as they're not required, but beyond that, we didn't have any further corrections. It received preliminary approval at TRS, and it's ready for final. Is there any questions on this one?
And the remaining, I see the remaining farm is still 90 acres here, that's what that says?
Yeah, by deed. We don't require them to survey the remainder for
Okay.
that, so, yeah. We just ask that they give a guesstimate of the remaining acreage.
Mhm. Any other comments on that one? Director, you want to do the third one?
Sure. All right, Ruth Alsip has applied for the subdivision of a 10.002 acre parcel of land located at 0 Webster Road in Perryville. The property is zoned agricultural. This is also a fairly straightforward plat here. They're just looking to divide it into 2 lots, tract A1 and tract A2, with a 5.35 acre and a 4.652 acre tract. It's meeting our requirements. I think we just asked that the address be included in the title there and some additional information on the remainder, but beyond that, it received preliminary approval. It's ready for final. Is there any questions on this one?
It was just the center. Isn't that what they just put in, is this in here?
Yes,
Okay,
yep.
so the outer
Essentially
perimeter was
just
the same as it was.
cutting it down the
Okay.
middle, yeah.
Hmm. And we don't have a problem bisecting the water in the, you know,
It's a little unique, but we don't have anything in our regulations that prohibit it.
It's a floating.
So, yeah.
kind of an odd tract.
Yeah. I don't know if it could cause potentially some ownership questions down the road for
Yeah,
those owners, but.
We don't have to wade into it.
But yeah, exactly. As Henry said, that would become a civil matter at that point, so.
yeah.
No, any other comments? So I think what we're looking for is final approval on all 3 of them.
Yes, that's correct.
I need a motion for final approval for all 3. Commissioner Griffin made a motion, need a second. Commissioner Davenport has a second. All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, Director.
Thank you all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Director, I think we'll go down to new business.
Yep. I don't have anything for advisory committee report. We probably will for next month. We had some public hearings scheduled for the initial August meeting. I decided to push them so we didn't have to do new advertising for the special called meeting. That way we could kind of schedule it as needed. But we'll be looking at that for next month. Budget Committee report, kind of the same situation. We'll have to do an amendment to the budget, but we'll do that at the September meeting. Personnel Committee report, we essentially had an informal meeting with Steve and Commissioner Baird about pushing our planning commission hours 8 to 4 rather than the 8:30 to 5, and taking half-hour lunches instead of the hour. So Lisa and I have been doing that on a trial basis for the last few weeks. I personally think it's been going really well. Lisa and I have been really happy with it. It's made a big difference for me getting home at 5 instead of 6 p.m. So I really appreciated the change, but to make it official, we need a full vote of the commission, if you all are comfortable with that.
This is to do the 8 to 4.
Yes.
Commissioner Griffith makes a motion to have it 8 to 4. I need a second.
Second?
Commissioner Nolet. Any discussion necessary? I look for a vote. All in yea, raise your hands.
Thank you all.
You're welcome.
I have no other new business, and for an announcement, we did have our kickoff meeting on August 24th at the showroom for the comprehensive plan. A few of the commissioners were in attendance there, which was great. I thought it went really well. We had a pretty good turnout, maybe 115, 120 people would be my guess. So I was pretty happy with that. We've scheduled some additional public engagement sessions that we released that schedule at the kickoff meeting. Sorry, I should have brought them in here, but they are posted on our website, the city and county, and we've asked all 4 jurisdictions to put it on their website and Facebook pages, things like that. I'll put up something in the newspaper here in the next few days, so it's exciting. But I thought it went really well, and I was happy with the turnout. So.
Yeah, I was there, for example, and I thought it
Yep.
was doing very well, too. And Commissioner Nolet was there, I believe, and you were there, Terry. So I thought it was very interesting to hear the comments from the rest of the group that was there.
Yep.
Some of them are very knowledgeable in planning and zoning, and some of them not so much. But it's good to have interest.
But they still care about their community, so it's great to
Yes,
see them come out
absolutely.
and hear what they had to say.
Absolutely.
We did do a small visioning exercise essentially with the group. We had them break out into 5 to 8 members and just discuss a few different questions about what their thoughts are of where Boyle County is now, where they want to see it go, things like that. And so it was a really interesting discussion. And Joe Black with the ad collected all those sheets, so he's kind of working up a recap on that to see all the information and feedback we got. But
Do you remember the overall rough timing for that you put up on the end of that meeting?
what's that, for the timeline?
Yeah, timeline here. Because you have a
Yeah,
series of.
so we're gonna have listening sessions starting September 14th and going through, I believe, October 4th. For all 4 jurisdictions. We're still working on scheduling 1 or 2 in the county, the unincorporated county, but we've got 3 scheduled for Danville, 2 for Perryville, and 2 for Junction City at this point. So it should be good. That's when we'll start doing more of the interactive, like, mapping exercises, giving the public more of an opportunity to speak and give comments. The kickoff meeting was more of a presentation style, aside from the feedback we got on those 3 questions, so.
The formats of those listening sessions are all going to be the same kind of as what this initial one was, or are they going to be different?
I am hesitant to answer that because I think in each jurisdiction, Joe's gonna do the same, so it's not like you have to go 1 to Perryville, 1 to Junction, 1 to
Right.
Danville. But I think his intention is in the jurisdictions, 1 meeting is gonna be a little bit different than the second meeting to get a
Okay.
little bit different input, but I'm saying that, and I'm not 100% positive if that's the route he's gonna go or not. He's kind of in charge of it, so I think if you attend 1 meeting, you would get a good opportunity to give good feedback. I think mapping exercises are gonna be a part of all of them, so, and that's usually the part that people get interested and excited and wanna give feedback on, so.
Yeah, I think I remember a date in spring of next year where the planning, it would come back to this large group here for a major review and a major public hearing, I think is what that was.
Yeah, so the way comp plans work is he's gonna draft the goals and objectives, and it's gonna go through a public hearing with planning commission, and then it will go to each of the 4 jurisdictions, and they'll adopt the goals and objectives. And then, once we have the draft plan complete, planning commission is the one that adopts that. Sometimes jurisdictions like to see it come through so they can adopt the whole plan, but it's not required by state statute. They only have to adopt the goals and objectives. The legislative bodies have been fairly involved, so I wouldn't be surprised if they want it to go through, which is perfectly fine. But like I said, it's just not required.
And the schedule, the final adoption was out into like summer next year,
I think it's June
June?
of 2024 is the goal right now. We'll see, how these things go. Sometimes you can start going through that public hearing process with the draft, and some things come up and you kind of have to go back to the drawing board on a few sections, whatever. So sometimes those deadlines can change, but that's the goal right now.
Well, the earlier we have the time schedule, the better off, for example, in myself, was just to get it in the calendar. There's other things I get involved with, so we just have to keep it best we can. This is the window of time.
Yeah, it's hard to say what meeting we're gonna have goals and objectives. I think the goal is to have it in January sometime, January, February, for the planning commission meeting, and then, the June or July for the final comp plan adoption, but, we'll see, so.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a challenge.
We should know well ahead of time. We'll obviously have to do all advertising requirements for KRS and whatnot, like any public hearing, we'll have the 2 weeks, but I think Joe has got a website up and running and a mailing list, so if you all go to our website, the planning and zoning website, I've linked it to the comp plan website, and you can sign up for those email updates if you want them, just to kind of keep it up on what's going on. I'll kind of try and brief you all as we're here at these meetings, but if you want to keep up to date from the ads perspective, that's a good thing to do. It's the easiest way to just keep up on it, so you don't have to keep checking websites and things like that, so,
I appreciate you taking the time, because that's a big job on there.
yep.
Very good.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Any other announcements then?
I have a question. Is the commission or the administration still uploading the minutes of each meeting? Because I've had several people say they went in to look at such and such a month and it wasn't there.
Our minutes?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I have not been putting those on the website, but I can start doing that.
Because I refer them on to the
Oh,
website.
okay, yeah, I can do that.
Well, it ain't there, so.
I've been
didn't-
trying to build up a database of our old minutes too. I've started scanning some in, but, so I hadn't linked to that Google Drive yet, but I can start putting those up on the website.
I know you got, I hate to add to your list.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm slowly getting comfortable with
you'll be
our
fine.
platform that we use to
You'll be
update that.
fine.
It's, I had not used that platform before, so,
And we'll change it just as soon as you figure it out.
yeah, probably.
Not intentionally, it just happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? And the next scheduled meeting is September 27th?
September 27th at 9. I'm probably going to ask fairly early if everyone's able to attend or not, so I'll probably send out a text sometime next week. I think we're going to be a little bit tight on a quorum again, so we'll see, but,
Okay. I guess we need to close this meeting.
yeah.
Somebody,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
thank you, Jerry. I need a second
Second.
motion. Second to Dan Nolet. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, folks.